don't care how many people he jerked off in front of. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants it. What the fuck? This list sucks? What are you talking about? This is the most amazing list ever. Get over yourself, bro. Get over yourself. It's just, stop. Shut the fuck up. It's irritating. Nobody likes it. Women don't like it. Dudes don't like it. You don't know the art of stand-up comedy, okay? I hate him. But I gotta respect the power he has. All right, so let's do this. Let's do it. It's been forever since we've done a tier list. Are you excited? Are you excited to do the tier list? It's time for a comedian tier list. We haven't done this before. This is fantastic. I'm excited. I know you're excited. We're going to do this tier list right about the best comedians of all time, at least the ones that are given to me to choose from. This is a good selection for the most part. Norm is here. Okay, good. There's only maybe one or two faces I don't know who they are. So outside of that, I think I'm pretty much in the know. Jim Gaffigan. I put his S tier for sure. I love Jim Gaffigan. The hot pockets. That's a funny bit. You know it's good. I know it's good. Jim Gaffigan's great, but he had that great bit about the young pope in the backyard pretending to be pope. You know, he's clean for the most part. His first album had some swears in it, but ever since then he's always been clean, and he always talks about food. Oh, it's fantastic. I love Jim Gaffigan. I put him S tier for sure. S tier for sure. Now this is not Ally McBeal. What's her name? Ali Wong or something? I seen part of this because she did a whole special because she was pregnant. I don't know. I'm gonna put it D tier. I'm not big into the. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're a woman doing comedy, you're gonna have to be really good to get out of the D tier. Okay? Because I'm sorry, but there's a lot of poop in that genre. Hannibal Buress. I think Hannibal Buress is fantastic on the Eric Andre show, but now he's too good for it, right? He's too good. He won't go back. So the most recent season, no Hannibal Buress. That means no me watching it. He's too good for it now. And his stand-up, I've seen it. I think I put it C tier. C tier for Hannibal. C for Hannibal. Ellen DeGeneres, D tier. I'm sorry. I've seen Ellen. I've watched her stand-ups. I've seen her original sitcom show. That was the one where she came out as gay. It was like a big thing in the 90s. It's like Ellen DeGeneres has a very big secret, and she's coming out of the closet with the secret. And you're like, what could it be? Oh, she's gay. It's crazy. See, Melv, I bet you love Amy Schumer. Why don't we skip ahead to Amy Schumer? Amy Schumer, straight up D tier. Now, if someone was looking for a tier below D, that's where Schumer goes. Schumer goes in that. Cosby, S tier, for sure. Come on, dude. Have you listened to the album My Brother Russell, Whom I Slept With? Have you listened to the album Why Is There Air? Have you listened to the album Wonderfulness? If you listen to those all the way through, you would understand why he's S tier. I know his name. I've drawn a blank on his name. Not that funny. He's one of these guys. What's his name? I'm drawn up. I can't think of his fucking name. Aziz Ansari. Thank you. From outer space. Thank you. So Aziz Ansari, I put him as D tier. So back in the day when the Me Too movement was really swinging, when that was a big fad, and he got Me Too'd for basically just having like an awkward, cringy date that she still blew him on, so it must not have been that bad of a date, because I've never been on a bad date where I still got a blowjob at the end of it, so congrats to Aziz Ansari. And he even apologized, so it was more like, Aziz, I'm sorry. You get it? He is kind of one of these guys that's kind of hateable, where I was like, yeah, it sucks that this has happened to you, but I'm not as outraged as I want to be for you, because I just don't like you. You know what I mean? He's been funny in shows and movies I've seen him in, but we're talking stand-up. We're talking stand-up? No. Sorry, man. D tier. Bill Burr, definitely A tier. We've talked about it. I've liked Bill Burr ever since I've first heard him on the Opie and Anthony show. His podcast, I haven't listened to his Monday morning podcast in a long time, but back when I was listening to it, very good stuff. Stand-up is great. I've watched I think all of them that have come out. Carrot Top. As a kid, I liked Carrot Top. I liked the prop thing. I didn't understand that he was actually one of the first comedians I saw on TV that I actually like connected to. Hey, there's comedy here. It's a guy on a stage and he's like kind of doing some funny stuff. This is interesting. I was really young, probably like 5, 6, and I was like, this is interesting. I'll watch this. So then every time I'd flip through the station, I see a guy on a stage, I'd be like, oh, let's see if he brings out any props. Spoiler alert, most of them did not. So Carrot Top, I put him up here with Hannibal. I'd watch Carrot Top just as much as I'd watch a Hannibal special. John Mulaney. John Mulaney is to comedy what wet paint is to a wall. It's there. It exists. It serves a purpose, but really has nothing exciting going on about it at all. So I will say D tier for John Mulaney. Kevin Hart. Oh, Kevin Hart is one of these guys where he is so big now, he's almost too famous to be a comedian. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much where, like, his celebrity really overshadows anything he's ever going to do. And I think that's an unfortunate thing. So it's something similar that happened with Steve Martin, where Steve Martin was so famous. He explains this, where he was so famous. One of the reasons he stopped doing stand-up was he was selling out like football arenas, and he was telling jokes, and he realized that for the most part, these people are laughing, and they really probably, depending how far away they are, they're not even hearing the joke, but they're just laughing. They're excited to be there for his celebrity. And that was pretty much where he like tapped out. And I think that that's a point where Kevin Hart is such a workhorse machine that he won't tap out. And so he's going to dilute himself further and further. I think he had great stuff, but nowadays he's kind of burnt out. I put him up here at C tier. He would be B tier. If he would just do like a pull of Steve Martin and be like, I'm done. I've done everything I can do. I'm just going to be a movie star celebrity. But since he won't give up the stand-up piece, he drops to C tier. George Lopez, his sitcom's okay. I've seen his stand-up. It's all right. But as far as a Latino king of comedy, he's not quite up there as with some of the others that we're going to talk about. I put him as C tier. Okay, he's a C tier guy. He's better than these people here. But it's not that great. Louis C.K., S tier. Come on. Louis C.K. is absolutely S tier. I don't care how many people he jerked off in front of. S tier all the way. 100%. Richard Pryor. I put Pryor up here with as an A tier. He's not as, like I said, I can't really connect with him, but I will listen to it. I won't watch a special of his, but I'll listen to it. I'm not going to be, so what I mean by that is I'm not going to be zoned in enough. I'll find myself on the phone. Same thing with Bill Burr. He's one of these guys I'd like to listen to, but if I have to sit and watch it on TV, I'm just on my phone the whole time. S-tier people, I'm usually glued to the TV. I will sit and watch it. And yes, that means I am glued to watching Jim Gaffigan. Todd Glass. Todd Glass, I think is good. Todd Glass is definitely B tier. He's not famous enough to be doing a lot of shit, but I have watched his specials on Comedy Central, the half-hour ones, and there's some on YouTube and that. I find him funny. I don't know. His delivery is just, I think Todd Glass is pretty good. He's a solid B to A tier. The problem is I want to put him A tier, but because he's Bill Burr and Pryor is A tier, he's not quite up there. He's a solid B player. Todd Glass is definitely gold. That's why he's B tier. He's almost A tier. If he'd put out some more specials that I could listen to, he'd definitely be up higher. Because I do like listening to him. Michael Che. I put as C tier. He's good. Heard him on some podcasts. He was the one person on Saturday Night Live that we had there'd be clips that I would catch because he would do the weekend update thing, and it'd be kind of edgy, a little as edgy as Saturday Night Live can be nowadays. So he's okay. C tier. Chris D'Elia, D tier, and it's not because of his sexual misconducts. Okay, I'm not taking in account their sins. Okay, for this, it's just that he doesn't offer anything special. Okay, he is the problem with Chris D'Elia is the problem with comedians that are popular and are considered good looking type of thing, where he knows he's cool. So he's not. He's approaching it from like I'm going to be funny, but I know I'm really cool type thing. You can't be that. You have to be self-deprecating in a way. And he's never self-deprecating in a way that's really deprecating. It's a let me self-deprecate because I'm cool. Like nobody wants that. Nobody wants it. Tony Hinchcliffe. We can put him as a D tier. He's not good. He's another guy. He's just like D'Elia. He's too cool for the room guy. You can't be too cool for the room, but also try to be the clown in the room. You can't be both. It's one or the other. Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright is fantastic. Oh, there's a great line. There's a great line in the documentary Comedian, the one that follows Seinfeld around when he's rebuilding his act. And it also follows around this up-and-comer at the time, Orny Adams, which he was up. He just never came. And Orny Adams, he just would not keep his mouth shut. He was just like, look, constantly just yep about how great he is and what he's working on. And it's just like, we all know these people that they ride the high of their own hype. And there's a scene where one of the managers or agents backstage is kind of basically telling him to keep his mouth shut. He's like, here's a great example. Stephen Wright says, let the act speak for itself. Do your talking on stage. When you're off stage, and Orny Adams doesn't take it well because he's understanding him basically just being like, shut the fuck up. You don't need to tell me how good you are. Let the act speak for itself. And Stephen Wright's one of these guys where we've all seen him in movies, from Half Baked to hearing his voice in Reservoir Dogs and so on. And if you've ever, him and Hedberg are very similar with just these one-liner type jokes, very well written. I put him up here as A tier, both him and Hedberg, A tier stuff. This is very good, easy stuff. Oh, okay, this is Tom Segura's wife, I think. I think this is just a younger picture of her. So, like I said, I think Tom Segura was good. I seen her recently, Christina P. I seen her recently. If this is her, I think that's her. It's just a younger photo than what she looks like now. Looks like this is when she was a little lighter. She's okay. I put her C tier. She's okay. It was a good performance I saw. But if Keegan and Josh didn't hook me up with the ticket, then I probably wouldn't have gone and seen her on my own. Bo Burnham, D tier. Get over yourself, bro. Get over yourself. It's just stop. You're not doing high art. Just tell me my jokes, okay? Tell me my jokes. Eliza Schlesinger, probably one of the most irritating. Go to any clip that you see of her on Joe Rogan. Look at the comments. She is the most irritating thing. Don't get me wrong, she's hot. She's very attractive. But again, she falls into that category of Tony Hinchcliffe, Chris D'Elia, where you're just too cool for the room. You're too cool for the room. You're trying to dude it up on stage. No one's buying it. It's irritating. Nobody likes it. Women don't like it. Dudes don't like it. And the dudes that do like it are just a bunch of coomers. They'll like anything as long as you got decent tits and a decent body. Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan is definitely B tier. He's on the verge. I would say if his podcast wasn't as good, and I've seen it's C, B tier. But I definitely think Todd Glass is better than Joe Rogan on stage, in my opinion. I think he's funnier. But Joe Rogan is solid B tier. Solid B tier. I don't know these two. Again, this is like a musical act. I don't know their name, but I know these two are a musical act. I've seen them on Conan. I'm just going to put them here because, again, it doesn't even fit. Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, in my opinion, is overrated. I thought he was funny in the fact of, like, he would do these elaborate pranks, but a lot of it really resonated more, it seems like, after he died than even when he was alive. Like, I know he had fans and everything, and I know he loved to not give people what they wanted, which I respect that, okay? But I don't think he's that great. Like, I don't watch any of his work. Between Man on the Moon and a couple documentaries I've seen, that's enough Andy Kaufman for me in my life. I'm good. This is Jeselnik right here. I put Jeselnik as D tier. I'm sorry. I know one of you guys, I forget who said it. One of you guys were saying how Jeselnik was it was a radum. That was like the shit. I'm sorry. He's not that good. He's not. I don't like. I know he's edgy. I don't like his delivery. I don't like. Yeah, he says some edgy stuff, but it's not though. It's not. Him and Tim Dillon got into it not too long ago, because he basically was trying to like he. It's funny, like he wants to be edgy, but he is also quick to cancel. Yeah, well, he's definitely D tier. We're gonna put him on that. Bill Engvall, here's your sign. Blue collar comedy. Blue collar. I got a sweet spot for the blue collar comedy boys. Okay. Now he's no Jeff Foxworthy, but definitely, there's definitely something there. There's definitely something to work with. So I do like the Bill Engvall. If you put Bill Engvall above Hedberg, no, well Hedberg is A. Bill Engvall is not an A tier guy. He's a solid B tier player. He's there with Todd Glass, Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Brian Regan is A tier. He's fun. He's clean. He's funny. It's good stuff. You gotta admit, Regan is fucking funny. Chelsea Peretti's D tier. We don't even have to spend a lot of time on that. Dana Carvey. I've seen a few of his stand-ups. He's pretty good. I haven't seen his most recent stuff. I know he's gotten a lot older, but I've seen some stuff from like the 90s, early 2000s. Obviously, his SNL work was good. I put him as a solid C tier guy. Nothing amazing, but definitely not in the trenches with these losers, okay? Definitely better than this bunch of losers. All right, so then we have Dane Cook. All right, we made it to the big C. The big C in the sky. Dane Cook is definitely S tier. Come on, dude. Someone shit on the coats. The fuck, the Sufi. The Sufi. The Sufi? Come on, dude. He had the biggest comedy double album of all time. Isolated Incident got a little dark. Rough around the edges was just that, a little rough. And he's got a new one that just came out. I'm excited. Mr. Twister put me onto it. I got to listen to it tomorrow. I'm excited. Melvin's trolling. I'm not trolling. Dane Cook is the best. He's great. Dane Cook is fantastic. When he talks about watching somebody get hit by a car and they spun into the air like Eddie Gordo when he doesn't know the moves in Tekken? Come on. How can you tell me that Dane Cook isn't good? He's got such a great thing about how it sounds like when you're driving through a parking garage. It sounds like you're in a high-speed chase at all times. The BK Lounge. Dude, come on. Dane Cook. Classics. Chappelle. We talked about Chappelle already a little bit earlier. Definitely A tier. We're going to put Chappelle up there with Regan, Hedberg, and Burr. Very good stuff. This fella, I forget what this guy's name is. He was kind of big during the mid-2000s, like just before the 2010s. He's mid on a good day. We're going to put him down here. I don't even remember his name, but I'm not even. This is the guy that always has like the little like white presentation paper. Whatever. Gabriel Iglesias, I put him as. Yeah, he's kind of a one-trick pony, but I can't put him a D tier. He's definitely not D tier. He's definitely better than these losers down here. I put him as a C tier. He's a C tier guy. If it was on, I had nothing else to do, I'd watch it. I'd listen to it if it was on like an XM station, one of the comedy stations. I wouldn't change it. I'd listen. Well, we don't have an F tier, unfortunately. It's just S through D. What the fuck? This list sucks? What are you talking about? This is the most amazing list ever. Ron White. Now, Ron White is definitely A tier. He's one of the better blue-collar guys. He's not quite S tier with these greats, but he's definitely, I'll put him as an A tier. I'll listen to him talk. I love the tater. The tater salad story sold me when I saw that decades ago. And I've listened, when he's been on Joe Rogan, I'll sit and listen to him. He's just one of those guys I can just listen to him talk. I don't even care if he's funny half the time. I'll just listen to him. David Cross, there are times I really want to not like him, but he's so good I can't. For example, I know that he hates Larry the Cable Guy, and I thought it was like really kind of retarded, for lack of a better term, on the way he like acted about that. Like somehow Larry the Cable Guy is destroying America. Larry the Cable Guy is not amazing by any means, so spoiler alert. Yeah, we can put Larry the Cable Guy right here in the C tier list. But David Cross, but he's still good. I mean, I'll never forget his impression of a crack baby. That one got me. His Mr. Show stuff. I really, he's right in this range, A to B tier. A to B tier, but I will watch his stand-up. I think it's pretty good. Even he'll say stuff I'm like, I kind of disagree with you there, but it's still funny. It's still funny. Caliendo. I put Caliendo as a solid C tier. He's a great impressionist. His material, if it wasn't for the impressions, I really wouldn't give a shit. But I'm very fascinated by people who can do impressions. I can't do impressions. I'm terrible at it, but I love the science of how to do it. I don't know. I'm just always fascinated in how people can do it, and I love it when they talk about how they can do it and their methods of doing it, even though I can't do it at all. Mark Maron, I used to listen to his podcast back in the day during like the early days of the podcast, like when Joe Rogan was starting and all this stuff. He had some decent interviews. I think after he kind of jumped the shark or peaked once he interviewed Obama. And then after that, I was like, okay, this is kind of like you're interviewing the same people over and over, and I don't really have much of an interest now. But yeah, Mark Maron, I put him as a C tier as well. Like, you know, I'm not his stand up. I've seen his stand up. It's okay. It's mid. His podcast was okay. Todd Barry, C tier. I don't like his delivery. I know he does this very muted kind of like, you know, quiet. But it's not for me. I just don't get it. Carlin. Okay, this is easy. We talked about Carlin a lot. He's an S tier for sure. Who wouldn't put Carlin as S tier? You'd have to be a damn fool to think that. You have to be a goddamn fool to think that Carlin is an S tier. It's offensive that Carlin and Gaffigan are on the same bracket. What are you talking? They just do different types of comedy. It's different flavors, okay? These are all different flavors. This is something clean, you know, family friendly, but still kind of is really funny on the minutia. Cosby, great storyteller. You know, Louis C.K., very abstract. Dane Cook, just a solid. Every word that comes out is just powerful and funny. And Carlin, you know, speaks on social commentary. Everything's covered so far. And you wait, there's still some more S-tier people that are going to be up here. Just you wait. All right, Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it. Jerry Seinfeld, there's something about him. His material, separate even from the show. He's definitely S tier, for sure. I'm not even considering the show. Take the show out of it. The show is amazing. Seinfeld is one of my favorite shows of all time. But the material is solid. It's solid material. You can watch, and it's so well written and crafted. That's what he's known for. He's definitely S tier, for sure. Mel, are you doing this on purpose to piss people off? Do you have like another tier list already complete that you'll show us after? No, I'm doing this in real time. Patton Oswalt. I like Patton Oswalt. Or I liked Patton Oswalt. If he didn't like kind of lose his shit over like the last 5 years, he would definitely be S tier. But unfortunately, he just spurged out on Twitter, became super woke, cancels like everyday people. Like, I get people talk shit to you online, but like there's been plenty of times where apparently he's gotten people he would contact people's jobs and just shit out. And it's like, come on, dude, come on. You're the celebrity. You can't be the rich celebrity. So I'm going to put him as A tier. Actually, no, I'm going to drop his B tier. He's B tier at this point. I want him to be S tier, but he's B tier right now. Kathy Griffin, D tier. She's just annoying. What's his name? Kevin James. Unfortunately, Kevin James hasn't done a lot of stand-up. There was a stand-up special that was on Comedy Central right when King of Queens was picking off. Hilarious. Loved it. Didn't do shit. Now, I think he put one out not too long ago. I haven't watched it. I put him as a C tier. Now, if he did more that was like the shit that I seen like long ago, he could definitely be B or A tier. But he's not putting out enough work. Okay? He's taking the easy route, being an actor. It's just fine, I guess. C tier. Mike Birbiglia, D tier. Overrated. Very overrated. The fucking alternative, fucking awkward comedy. Not feeling it. All right, Carlos Mencia. Now I know a lot of people have their opinions about him, but I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a pretty funny guy. Some people say, well, it's not his material. I say, hey, he performs it pretty well. S tier. S tier for Mencia. You heard that right. S tier for Mencia. Take all the drama aside. You watch a Mencia special, you're going to love it. You're going to laugh. You're going to laugh till you cry. You're going to laugh till you hurt. Yeah, we're going to definitely going to do Mencia S tier. If you're not doing Mencia as F tier, or S tier, then you're just wrong and you're dumb and you don't know the art of stand-up comedy. Okay, this is Stephen Lynch. He's another like songwriter guy. I was actually listening to a song because I was listening to some old Opie and Anthony episodes, and he used to go on their show a lot. It's okay. Again, I put him in as like, I don't really see him. I guess he's a little bit more stand-up than say like a Tenacious D, but I don't know. I just, it's not my thing. He's not bad. You know what? This is a crop of losers for the most part. And out of this, and with the exception of Reggie Watts, I don't think Reggie Watts is a loser. I just don't think he belongs in this whole thing as a stand-up. I will put Stephen Lynch in the C tier just because I dislike all of these other people so much. But I really don't think that he even really belongs in the list in general. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's necessary. Adam Sandler, I don't really consider him a stand-up. He's more of just an actor. You know, he's like, I know he's done some stand-up, but he's like Kevin Hart. Like, his celebrity overshadows anything he could do in stand-up. He's a C tier. What more are you going to say? Maria Bamford, I think she's funny. But she's just not quite my style of humor. But she's not as bad as these people. C tier. Put her a C tier. Again, nothing amazing. There's nothing amazing about her. Sarah Silverman. Okay, so here we go. So Sarah Silverman's another one. I put her up there with Patton Oswalt. Okay, where I thought Sarah Silverman, it was probably the best female comedian. Now that I think about it, she's not as bad as Patton Oswalt, though. So I put her B tier. She's up there with David Cross. I put her up there with David Cross. Donald Glover, I don't know Donald Glover's stand-up just on his own. Not to say I wouldn't watch it, but I know him more as Childish Gambino. So I'm not even going to put him on the list because I can't. I just have nothing to base it on. Bill Hicks, I feel, is a little overrated. He's got some good segments. I love his freak out. I love the freak out. Have you ever seen a stand-up where he's freaking out?
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, man. Be my little echo.
Yeah, so he's saying, yeah, buddy. They're saying, yeah, buddy. This kind of starts it off bad. He's not liking the fact he's got an echo. Don't echo. Alex Jones killed those kids.
Yes, my mother. And, you suck. You fucking cunt. Get the fuck out of here right now. Get out. Fuck you. Fuck you, you idiot. You're everything that America should be flushed down the toilet, you fucking turd. Fuck you. Get out. Get out, you fucking drunk bitch. Take her out. Take her fucking out. Take her to somewhere that's good.
Like, this goes on. There's a whole, like, 40-minute thing where it's just him yelling at the crowd like that because the crowd sucks, and then he just wigs out.
Go see fucking Madonna, you fucking idiot piece of shit. You suck, buddy. You suck. I can yell at the comedian because I'm a drunk cunt. That gives me carte blanche. I got a cunt and I'm drunk. I can do anything I want. I don't have a cock. I can yell at performers because I'm a fucking idiot because I got a cunt. I want you to go find a fucking soul.
I'm going to be honest, ladies, as a whole, you guys do like to just chirp up about a lot of nothing. So there's been plenty of times I've been at shows, various times, comedians, different performers of all types, and there's always the one. When they're young, they act like this. When they get older, they turn into a Karen. And now you weaponize them with a cell phone, and they'll try to cancel you. So I think of this every single time I see a Karen out there, or a future Karen, starting to chirp up like a couple of birds in a tree. All right, so now where are we at? Bill Hicks. So where are we landing with Bill Hicks? Bill Hicks, I put A tier. He's very entertaining. I think he's a little over. I mean, after watching that, rewatching a couple things here, I was gonna go B tier with him, but I'm gonna put him A tier. He's up there with, like, the greats, Chappelle, Pryor, Silverman, Burr, right? Definitely A tier. Norm Macdonald, S tier. I mean, there's just you can't argue with that. That's S tier stuff. Very good. Ray Romano. I mean, Norm Macdonald is, again, he's so great. He's up there with, like, Gilbert Gottfried, where he can take just an old-fashioned street joke and mine gold out of it. Ray Romano's okay. I remember seeing his stand-up early on before his TV show. It was okay. His show was okay. Nothing crazy. Definitely C tier. He's okay. Ricky Gervais. We talked about Ricky Gervais before. He's got some really good... I think his stand-ups are really good. I love a lot of his work. I don't know. I can't quite put him as S tier, but he's definitely A tier across the board there. I don't know who this guy is. I have no idea who this fella is. So I'm going to put him at the bottom here. We're getting to the end here. We're getting to the end, guys. Robin Williams, I think, great actor. Stand-up's good. It's very, like, stream of consciousness. It's okay. I give it a C tier. It's nothing amazing. Eddie Murphy. Now, Eddie Murphy hasn't done stand-up comedy in a long time. They've been talking about him. He's been hinting that he's going to go back and do it. But the problem is he was doing stand-up comedy when he was, like, super, super, super young. So, like, all of his big specials that people talk about, like Raw and Delirious, they're good for the time. But the problem is they're very, like, immature. He's, like, in his early 20s. Like, really, what is Eddie Murphy going to be able to tell me about the world, right? So that's why it's a very, like, it's very, I guess you could say, immature. Like, I get it. Immature is funny anyway, but it's why a lot of it doesn't hold up now. It's not, Saturday Night Live, he had some really good characters, really great movies. Beverly Hills Cop is phenomenal. The Clumps, phenomenal characters. But I just think that it doesn't hold up this test of time. I think he's a solid C-tier guy with the other ultra celebrity stand-ups. I just think he's... Yeah, they don't age well. They don't age well because of that. Because he wasn't doing anything pointy. He was just doing... young people jokes. It doesn't age well because he hasn't lived enough life at that point to have a, like, solid insight on anything. He can make a joke. He knows how to make a joke. He knows how to perform, but he just doesn't have any insight and knowledge. If we look at the through line through what makes a good comedian is typically because they're able to take some knowledge that they've gained in their life, combine it with the talent of finding funny when it's there, and stringing that along. Look at all the greats that we have on the top here. Gaffigan, Cosby, Louis C.K., Dane Cook, George Carlin, Jerry Seinfeld, Carlos Mencia, especially, Norm Macdonald. They've all lived lives where they can kind of, like, build a narrative around being funny. Even the A-tier stuff. Chris Rock, I think, is good. We were talking about that. I think that he's... I've watched a lot of his stand-ups, but I just don't... He's not quite there with the A. I say he's a solid B-tier guy. Chelsea Handler, we can put right there at the bottom. No explanation needed. Jeff Dunham, we can put here at the bottom. I don't like the puppets. I'm sorry. I just can't get behind the puppets. All right. We're not going to address these last four because I don't even know who half these people are. But Donald Glover, I don't ever really seen any stand up from him. Tom Segura, we talked a little about Tom Segura. I think his stand up's pretty good. I don't know how it is today, but I know in the past he's pretty funny. I put him up there with like Rogan. He's a B tier guy. He's pretty good. No complaints. Bert Kreischer, we're gonna put him. He's not in the D tier. He's not in the D tier. This is like a loser bunch. Nothing. I don't hate Kreischer, but you can put him in the C tier. He's a C tier guy. Jim Jeffries, I haven't really seen anything from him in a while. Nothing's amazing. I know he's Australian. Whatever. C tier. Galifianakis. He doesn't do a lot of stand-up. I don't know if he's done it in a long time, but the ones I've seen, he's pretty good. I like his style. B tier. I'll put him in a B tier. All right, and the last one we're going to cover is Jeff Foxworthy. We're going to cover Jeff Foxworthy. Foxworthy is a guy out of the blue collars. I mean, he's the biggest out of the blue collar guys. And he's got the gimmick down. You know, Bill Engvall's got Here's Your Sign. You know, Ron White is the tater salad. Larry the Cable Guy is Get Her Done. But Jeff Foxworthy has got You Might Be a Redneck. And what's beautiful about the You Might Be a Redneck joke is to this day you can write to it. I've written many. You know, it doesn't even take my. We can come up with my. You know what? If you have 2 pairs of socks and none of them are sealed at the toe, you might be a redneck. It works. It works. He cracked the code. He made it work so well. It's probably like it's the gift that keeps on giving. You could sit there. All he needs to do is he could do 3 hours of, if you go and paint your house with your own semen, you might be a redneck. If your grandmother has 3 legs but no eyeballs, you might be a redneck. Crowd just ape shit. The crowd would be so insane. You do a 3-hour You Might Be a Redneck marathon on stage. You have all the blue collar guys come out. They do. It's like an event. It's like a festival, blue collar festival. Imagine this, blue collar festival, right? I'm going to set this up. I want to set the stage here. Blue collar festival. You open it up. Bill Engvall, Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White. Headliner, Jeff Foxworthy. 3 hours, 45 minutes of just You Might Be a Redneck jokes. Now, you'd say to yourself, well, how many times can you tell the joke for almost 4 hours? How is it still funny? That's the magic. The magic is the fact that even the same joke repackaged for just under 4 hours is still funny. Shows the sheer talent behind this man. I can't even fathom putting him anywhere outside of S tier. I hate him, but I got to respect the power he has. That's my tier list. But I think if you're ever wanting to get into a binge of stand-up comedy, that's where to start. I think I've guided you in the right direction.